feels so strange. Soul sets on a new horizon. Spend late nights just fantasizing, and I lose myself in the light. Hey. I'm a stranger to myself. Wanna recognize anyone else. Save my soul. I said save my soul. Let the music roll. Hit it. Seasons pass, reflections change. I bury all that I have in a grave, but my six strings makes me feel at home. Well, lights too bright, and now I'm afraid I'm a slave to the song that paved my way. And again, everything I've known when it feels so strange. Let me tell you something now. I'm a stranger to myself. I wanna recognize anyone else. Come on now, save my soul. Yeah. Save my soul. Let the music roll.
Good morning. Rhodey's here. This is going to be short. Many of you know that I got COVID early last week. And I'm technically better, but I'm tired. I'm really tired. And so anyway, that's what I'm dealing with. It looks like it's extremely glitchy. Sorry if it's glitchy. I'm going to jump on Patreon here in a minute, but I wanted to leave everyone with something here on Facebook as well. Hello. Welcome to Coffee with Kelsey. Rhodey, don't show everyone your butt. That's not very nice. I think we're all collectively experiencing a lot of like an energy whirlwind is kind of what I'm thinking, like kind of how I'm feeling it. Hey, can we not? Can we not? And a lot of emotions coming up, and a lot of it's some might think I'm thinking like political. It's really not. It's like years of a pandemic. It's still not over, you know, and it kind of smacked me pretty good when I got sick. And so when we have all of these things happening and it becomes a lot, and you don't have the chance to breathe out, and you're not sure when it's going to end. And now another thing comes up, and another thing comes up, and another thing comes up, and you are really trying to be a nice person, right? And it becomes a lot. And then you start to lose yourself a little bit at a time. This is how this happens. If you don't lose yourself, instead what you do is you turn to things that are addictive. You turn to alcohol. You turn to filling your schedule with something. You turn to just taking a trip to get out of here, right? Because this is the thing that's going to solve all of the feelings that are bubbling up. And a lot of people will just talk about it as a mental health thing, right? And it is. It really is. It is. And I love that people are saying that. But it's not that quite that simple. It's not just a buzzword. I heal with music. This is what I do. And I am so excited to share some of my new music with you. And this message, I don't know where it's coming from other than just my heart saying, I feel a lot of it bubbling up. Rhodey, come here. Oh, I thought she's gonna knock something over. I know it would be just at the right time. The reason I'm saying all this is because I know many of you are feeling the same way and you aren't alone. In fact, oftentimes when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, many people around you are too. And so I use this as this morning, I think, is just a short message just to let you know you're not alone with everything that you're feeling. And there are small actions you can take so that it doesn't build up too bad, right? That's the key for anything as it starts to build up. Some of you might be listening to this message and might think that's not me at all, okay? And that's totally fine. I think that many of you will resonate with it. One of the easiest things that I see, or one of the things that I've learned, is that it's so easy to think that you have to have a big overhaul so that things start to feel better, and it's really not the case. Small things will make you start to feel better. So even if it's as simple as asking for help or just speaking up a little bit, if you start to feel a little too overwhelmed, and just ask for some help. It could just be, can we just go for a walk? I really need to walk and talk. And that could literally, like, that small shift could be huge, okay, in helping you. And I bring these things up because of many, many things. I just feel like it's the energy of where we're at right now. And July is not going to get any better. I think we're in a whirlwind of emotions and energy. And also July, things are moving faster and people are celebrating, right? You're having cookouts and all this stuff. And just don't forget that how you care for yourself is so important, and how you feel is so important, okay? That as we get into the shuffle of things to kind of distract ourselves from how we actually feel, you might need to take a little pause, especially if little things pop up. You'll just start snapping at someone, or you don't get good sleep, and all of these things really add up. So to maneuver around that, the easiest thing you can really do, or the best thing, I think, is a small connection with another human being, okay? Talking, something like that. It helps you not feel so alone. So I say that because that's just the energy that I'm feeling right now. And I have been, although I was sick, I've been really good and really got to quiet my mind about a lot of things, and really allowed me to place priorities on things. And so, that's the message I wanted to share with you today. And that's a public message. And I'm going to go now on Patreon. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth with some of everyone there on Patreon. But I love you guys. And I should tell you, I do have shows this coming weekend. So tonight I'm going to be at the Anchor. I'm going to be hosting a kind of like a karaoke thing. So unless I don't have the energy, that's the plan for that. Come here. Are you a monster? Do you want your toy? Here, I'll get it. That was a very large, wouldn't this be funny if, like, my microphone was muted the entire time? Oh no, it wasn't. That would have been hilarious. Because I want to listen back to that message. Friday, I'm playing Rhythm and Boom. It's a big festival in Milton, Wisconsin. Milton, Milton. High five. Yeah. And then on Saturday, I am playing at Memorial Terrace, which is so funny to me. I'm singing backups for a band. I won't tell you why it's so funny to me. Anyway, but I'm singing backups for Don't Mess with Cupid, and I do Otis. They're an Otis Redding tribute band, and I'm really hoping they'll let me play one of my originals. I played there at the Memorial Terrace years ago, and then I don't know who does the booking for it. Okay, that's Saturday. Sunday, I'm at Toffler's in New Glarus. And word on the street is that my name is still on their big mural they have at the back of their property. So on the stage. So I'm on the menu at Anchor, and then my name is on the back of a stage. So I feel like I've left a little bit of a mark. Hey, so next week I most likely will be announcing something really big. It'll be sometime in July. Really big. Let's see, what else? Rhodey? I like how I just slyly say that. There she is. Look at you. Hello. I feel like my video is probably really choppy, everyone. I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully audio-wise, the message came through. I'm gonna stop the Facebook live stream, and we're gonna do a cat obedience training on Patreon. Oh, hey, if it happens at all until I see you next Thursday, unless I see you before then, but if anything like this pops up this next week, things like you have like a lot of emotions and you just have to shove them down to get your workday done, or gosh, something just doesn't feel right, or you're just exhausted and feeling overwhelmed. If any of those things like happen and you push through, please do yourself a favor. Please, you are so worth it. Take 10 minutes that night and sit down with that thought, with that feeling. Allow it to come back up. Because if you allow things like that to fester and you don't take care of them and you don't accept them as part of you, which they are, and they're beautiful. We're humans. We're not perfect. And these emotions they really are a way to navigate things. And if you don't listen to them, you don't have to do it in the moment. If it can't work there, that's fine. Just make sure that you take about 10 minutes, even 5, to yourself. Take that time. You're worth it, and just explore it, or find someone to talk to. Seriously, do not let things bubble up out of control. Yeah, I feel that message very strongly, don't I, Rhodey? That is how it's going. I love you all right? I hope to see you at a show soon. I'm gonna go on Patreon. If you're on my Patreon, it's in the YouTube link. It's an unlisted YouTube link. So you go to your email, or you go to the Patreon site and you click it and it opens right up, and it's still the same live stream. I'm able to just like chop everybody else off. Ha! I feel like there needs to be like a oh, it's so choppy on my computer. I wonder if it's choppy here. Oh, here's a smoke overlay. Don't you do that to me, Rhoda. That was so great. I still have this smoke overlay from a really cool hello Patreon, from a really cool Halloween show. Gosh, that was at this day at home where that was fun. I'm gonna jump on here so I can see your comments. I have a really funny story. So actually, first I have to ask you, is it super glitchy for you? Is the video bad? If so, I'm sorry, and I think it's because I didn't restart my computer. And no, that's not. How am I gonna find this thing? Manage videos. So let me know if it's glitchy. That way I know to restart and all that. I won't be able to hear, but hopefully audio-wise, we're probably okay audio-wise. It usually does okay there. Okay, I have a really funny story just to tickle your whatever. My brain is not working as well. Usually I'm a lot faster than this. Okay, so it's back. The buzzing's back. Okay, there's a closet where I live in the combined communal space, and what is happening? And there is a water heater in there, or a water softener. And there's also like a fire alarm thing in there. And here, let me just make sure that the volume's okay. Wow, it's super glitchy over here. It's slightly choppy. It's not bad. Okay, cool. Meditation is a must. Absolutely. Good morning, Tanya. Hi, Jody. Audio is fine. Yeah, audio is pretty good if I just don't move too quickly. I think it's because I need to restart my computer. And because I haven't touched it for a week because I've had, I felt really shitty, to be honest. Terrible headache. Wasn't able to eat very much. I couldn't smell anything. Yeah, it got me really good. And I'll tell you why not why I think I got sick, but one of the, I guess, benefits. Okay, so here's a funny story though. So I'm sitting, so there's an alarm that's going off in our communal space. It's in a closet. None of us have keys to the closet. The water softener's in there, and apparently there's a fire alarm box that's in there too. We assume the alarm is for the water softener. No one has keys. This was brought up at our condo association meeting. If you're part of a condo association, you know that oftentimes it's like just a shit show. And this was already brought up that we need these keys, right? And so no one knows how to get inside. My neighbor across the hall then also comes over and asks me about it. And I'm like, I don't have keys, you know. And so it was just non-stop buzzing. Non-stop buzzing. In fact, I think you can hear it if I open the door. That was weird. It like just stopped. Okay, anyway. It's back to buzzing. It was. Okay, so it was just nonstop. And no one could really go to sleep. So what I did was I got my hammer and I got my crowbar and I was able to pop all the pins on the hinge. And I started to shake the door out of the hinges so I could get in there. Now, mind you, we had already called the maintenance person, the emergency maintenance person. They actually didn't even know about our condo, which is funny. And there's no number for the condo board or whatever that would have the keys. And so my neighbors were came out and they were like, "Oh my gosh, are you taking the door off?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna stop the buzzing." And so I realized that seemed really normal to me to remove a door, right? Like, it's buzzing, I don't have the key, I'm getting inside, right? But I realized that is not normal for most people. My neighbors helped me some, they did. And my neighbor that lives below me, bless her heart, she came out to complain about, and asked us why we don't have the numbers for the board members, like the phone numbers. And I'm like, I don't know why we don't have them, but we don't. And if they wanted us to have them, we would be, I'm like, this is, anyway. So I get in there and it's the fire alarm. And it's kind of a scary box, but I went ahead and opened up and then there's a button that you can push to silence it. And it's kind of back there. And I got it to stop. So the next day I call, and I couldn't quite get the door back in. I mean, I could, but then I needed my rubber mallet and I couldn't find my rubber mallet. And I thought, screw it. So I called the maintenance guy. This is becoming a little bit longer story, but it's funny. I called the maintenance dude. And it happened to be the same maintenance guy from last night that didn't know, like, doesn't have access to it, doesn't know anything. And I called and I said, hey, we need someone to come out. The fire alarm that's in the, the closet downstairs, it was going off last night and it has a trigger. There's an electrical something going on. Because that's what the alarm was for. And he goes, oh, I thought it was the water softener. And I said, well, that's what we thought it was, but it's the fire alarm. He goes, well, how do you know? They said it was locked. I said, oh, that's another thing. I need someone to, when they fix the alarm, I need them to, I said, well, no, I didn't ask them to. I said, that's the other thing. I said, I took the door off. And he goes, you did what? And I said, yeah, it wouldn't stop buzzing, so I took the pins out of the hinges and ripped the door out. And he laughed so hard. And he said, that just made my day. I can't believe you did that. That's awesome. I'm so glad you could stop the buzzing. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're like the Hulk. And he goes, I know who I'm going to call now when I need to get into somewhere. It was great. It was so funny. So anyway, I did tell him, I said, here's the problem though. I said, I can get the door back in, but I couldn't find my rubber mallet. And he goes, don't you worry about that. I'll tell the guy when it gets there, they'll put the door back in. He said, this is hilarious that you did that. So I tell you this story because one, it's hilarious to me, but then two, here's the funny part. So then an additional funny part, the maintenance guy that didn't cross his brain. And then one of my neighbors was like, oh, I'm so glad they weren't mad at you. And I laughed because it didn't even cross my mind that someone could possibly be mad at me for taking off a door to stop buzzing so my neighbors could go to sleep. It didn't even cross my mind. And it made me think about how trained we are to follow certain rules, right? And in today's Coffee with Kelsey, I discussed how important it is to have a little bit more compassion, especially for ourselves. And that when energy starts to bubble up and emotions start to bubble up, to not ignore them. Maybe in the moment you must, but you have to give them some light, and accept them as part of yourself. They're there to help. And then this other piece is to remind us that when things just question the rules that you have in place, because it allows you to see ways to fix problems if you keep an open mind about things. And the door's fine. The door's back. Everything's fine. At least it stopped buzzing for that night. And they called the fire alarm. But if I had sat there and gone oh, there's no way to open it because there's, it's locked, right? I wouldn't have had that thought process of, well, I'm just going to take the damn door off. And I say this because it's funny, and there's not every time do I think of things like that, and you won't think of things that are outside the box like that, but the moments that you do, if you have something that pops up that says, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get, yes. Concern ourselves with liability before we speak, take action needs to not be our nature to coexist. It's a very good point, Tanya. Consider if it does pop up, if it feels so right, it felt so right to me. But here's the thing, I've taken many doors down. I know how to fix it. I know how they go in, I know how they go out. I just didn't know where my rubber mallet was to put it back in, and I was lazy, and I just didn't want to, because I had it takes a lot of energy to take a door out of the hinges when you don't have access to the other side. So anyway, and I live here, and I'm not renting. I own my condo. There was enough in there that it didn't even cross my mind that it wouldn't be okay. And so I guess it's something that Wayne Dyer talks about, and he's a spiritual life coach, and he talks about, I like how he says it. He says, focus on things that are ethical, or what does he say? Oh, I'll share the quote with you once I find it. But it's ethics over rules. So instead of focusing on, well, that's what the rules are, right? It says what's ethical, you know, what makes sense, you know. Live one day at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. Live one day at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. And within that, then we become more humanized, really, because there's a level of compassion involved with it. Rhodey probably was. Because cats don't care about rules. Cats focus on ethics. And they say, but I have been on the countertop before and it wasn't a problem. Therefore, you can't make up this rule to tell me not to be on the countertop all of a sudden. Well, I was feeling good enough there's very little that stops me when, especially like loud annoying beeps that I know is gonna I couldn't really hear it in my bedroom, but it was right beside them, you know, like, and I'm the only one crazy enough to do something like that where I live, so I thought I'm just gonna take the door down. I didn't know if I could stop the beeping. I knew I could at least find out what was beeping. I love when yes, he's so good. Live one, yes, at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. And I think that's, we won't get into politics today. That would take me a long time to talk about. But I think overall, like, that's, you know, I'm not extreme in any way with politics. I focus on what seems right, because if we do that, then I'm open to learning what other people think to be right for them, and the main thing is I'm here on this earth not to stop anyone from doing other things. I'm here to grow, and I want everyone else to grow. And so when we think about being expansive, it makes politics kind of hilarious because it's all about power and rules. And my approach is not that way. I have certain things I believe in, and I believe strongly in them, but it's based on it's not based on a hard and set rule. It's based on this is just the right thing, you know. Like, racism is a real problem, but it's something we're all needing to keep working on, and or just whatever. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. I would love to, but no one started that rabbit hole. I did. Okay, so this weekend's going to be hard for me. Energetically, I can feel that I'm like exhausted right now from doing Coffee with Kelsey. I do have, I'm feeling fine. I'm just exhausted. And so my headache's gone, which is good. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll just see how this weekend goes. I am hopeful, and I love you all, and I really appreciate this conversation. And I am looking forward to playing some more music for you here. I'm going to share a few things on the Patreon page. A new song that I wrote. If you weren't there at the East Side Club, thank you for your patience at the East Side Club. That was a dumpster fire of a venue. The venue supplied sound. The venue president got extremely drunk. I had to track him down to try to get paid. Thank you to one of you who actually went to the East Side Club and had to go get the check from them. And they didn't even monitor who it was that was getting my check. I couldn't get paid from them. It was bad. The sound was absolutely terrible, very delayed in setting up. And they never apologized. And so I talked to them about doing an apology online, and then they never did. So I'm trying to lead with compassion and be really honest. And I need to go just thank everyone for their patience in that event. Yeah. I know. It was really shitty, actually. It was very shitty. And then I got sick right after that. And so I just haven't been able to address it. Everyone there who knows and follows me knows that it most likely wasn't me that was causing those issues. I just want to thank everyone for their patience. And it was just disappointing. That could have been a really nice night. Yeah. I'll probably post something there soon. So, Jody, Tanya, Lori, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining in. I am going to drink some more coffee and I'm gonna take another nap. Miss Rhodey's over there. Sleeping. Nope, not sleeping. Hi, sweetie. Hi. So I left her outside by accident. Yep, didn't I? Yeah, because she wouldn't come back. And then I went out about an hour later and I was like, oh no, where's Rhodey? And I opened it and I locked down and she was sitting right there just waiting. She said, I'll come back when I want to come back. Be like a cat. Be like a cat. I love you. Yes. Rhodey and friends. And friends. Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciate your support. I love you all. I will see you next Thursday for sure, and maybe this weekend. Okay? All right. Take care. Bye-bye.